Alright, hello everyone, how are we doing today? Okay, so we are going to be back with Rimworld. As you can see, I did have a little bit of a play around because a few mods got updated, including RimHUD, so I can now actually have a shortcut to almost everything now. Yay! As without passing, how are you doing today? Hope things are going decently with you. So yes, we can see here that we've got a few new mods. So better ground penetrating scanner, clean pathfinding. Some of these, like coloured deep resources, are quality of life mods, whereas some of them, like smart aging, will have interesting things, and also ones like compensate for lost limbs. Most of these, I don't imagine we're going to really see an impact of in this or in today's stream, but we never know. Okay, so this was indeed where we left off yesterday. Last time. So beacon is unusable. We know that because we need 4 of those. I just put that down to study it. Hungry pen animals. Why? Yeah, 65% moving. You should be absolutely fine. Wind, kind of scared. New law, very discriminative and dangerous for people with mental conditions. Oof. Ouch. If you want to ping me on Discord and get it off your chest, feel free to do so. And yeah, like I've said previously, just remind me, just let me know if it's a venting thing or if you would appreciate some comments of support. So obviously I don't want to think you're venting and just gonna go or think you're wanting some kind of discussion and then actually go, no, I'm just venting. But either way, please just feel free to ping me on Discord if you want to do so. Hopefully this will take your mind off things, at least for a little bit. So you are researching. I just need to remind myself. So the orbital trade beacon and the comms console are being studied. When we get the high-tech research bench. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't mean to do it immediately, but obviously I probably won't be able to respond during the stream. Oh yeah, of course, I forgot that I gave you a table and chairs, so we need to remove that. And now see, I'm not quite sure because I don't think either of those... Hey there, Tobias. Afraid I can't stay. Wanted to wish you well. Thank you again, and thank you for the bits. It's always appreciated. And hey there, Lucas World. Welcome in. Hope your days are going decently well. So we just tamed a chinchilla. So let me just have a look. They've still got one left, a male one. And which one do we have now? Male. Okay, chinchillas do go in pens. That is good to know. So unfortunately, chinchillas, they have some of the best fur in the game. So 150% heat armor, 30-degree insulation for the cold, and 16 degrees insulation for the heat. About the only one that I have found that seems to be even remotely better is camel wool. And obviously that you kind of generally only tend to get either in a desert environment or if you manage to get a trade or a trader coming along. Oh, there's our stonecutter's table. So we want to... unfortunately, so I did get a mod to allow for bulk stone cutting, but unfortunately it only applies it to the actual individual ones. So what I want to do is do just general stone cutting, whatever it is, and do it forever. That will hopefully clear up a little bit of space here because we've got 49 granite chunks Is granite actually all that we've been digging out? It looks like it. And do we have... Yes, technically we do have someone on stone cutting. Now let's see. Probably put you two guests on it because it doesn't really need a skill. It doesn't really need a skill, and if either of them aren't doing anything, then they can always just come and do some stone cutting. Similarly, okay, you do have mining and drilling, so let's just drop that down. Cook, butcher. Actually, no, I'll leave that up at 1 because obviously if there is anything to mine, repair, deconstruct, they will do that in the first place anyway. Just thinking and making sure. That is -4 degrees, so that is fine. And just have a look at the wildlife that we've got around. Anything particularly interesting? No. I will have a quick look at the capybaras. They just give generic light leather. Okay. And we've got one of our colonists here trying to tame a chinchilla. 18% chance of success. So needless to say, it didn't quite work how they wanted it to. So, and these new options here. So allow sewing, priority, petty jobs. Those are from a new farming option. So excuse me, I want to grab that one. So we can put here plant rice. We want that definitely to be on, preferred, and I won't put on no petty jobs because this will grow just so quickly that it will be effectively easier for them to just come in and help. No, actually the opposite way round. Put no petty jobs on there because it will grow so quickly. That means they'll only go and work on it. Yeah, pawns will not sow new plants in this zone unless there is enough work to do. So that will stop them coming back, sowing one plant, and then going off to do the other ones. Okay, so we want this critical. So they will come and do this section. There we go. They will come and do this growing zone first before this one. And obviously because corn is going to be one that stores well for us, we're going to want to make sure that is prioritized over the others. And come across here, and we'll stop this just before heal root. We do not have anyone who has 8 skill, so we'll set that to important. And yes, I do want to set these to smart. So we have on, smart, false, or off. So it's basically saying that either it's going to always sow it, it's going to be on but not prioritized. They will only sow if there's enough time between sowing and potential harvest. Or we could just straight up force them. We could just straight up force them. Oh. I forgot to put captions on. I forgot to put the closed captions on. Or it will force them to sow it non-stop. It won't pay any to what the temperature is, if it's going to grow any amount before the temperature goes down. So, oh, okay, that's our trade ship. That's our first trade ship. So who is... Now, you can see why I love RimHUD here, because I can actually go through. I don't have to keep checking everyone's bio tab. I can just come down here. So 4, social. Then 1, 3, 1, 3, and 6. So there we go. You are the best one. So textiles trader. To add, yeah, I'm aware. Do we not actually have that? No, we do. We just have very few things to actually sell. Okay, so we don't want to sell any of our components. We could go for wait, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. I always say that and then the urge always goes away. So we have some guinea pig fur, which we could... Yep, I'll just sell all of that. It's 18 silver, but it will get it out of our inventory. So what do we have here? We've got a couple of marine helmets we could buy. Cloth head wrap. Alpaca wool we won't bother with because we'll get some. Same with the chinchilla fur. Might as well sell... Yep, all of the light leather and the camel hide. I don't think we're going to get anything immediately interesting with any of those. Synthread, Devil Strand, Hyperweave. Nope, I think we're fine, so we'll just accept that. And we will just get the money. Yeah, I almost completely forgot that we actually set up a comms console and we can thus get ships or trade from ships passing by. So we got 8 food there. So we have 6 people. Details. So if I do that to 42, so that's half a month's worth of meals effectively. And then, yeah, unpulls at 6. Yeah, we'll just do that. So effectively we'll have half a month's worth of food ready, and then when it gets down to 1 day's worth, well, 1 serving's worth I should probably say, because I think they will eat more than 1 meal a day. I think it's 2 meals. Yeah, you can tell I don't overly tend to min-max all of this stuff. So, we can only build a copy. We can't actually deconstruct it, and that is not even. That is not even. That's gonna seriously annoy me. Okay, so we'll extract out another one here, and then we'll build a bit more out front. You see so many people using mountains for homes. Are there no downsides? There are downsides. The developer basically got so fed up at one point. The developer actually got so fed up at one point that people were just continually using mountains for defensive purposes. That we have potentially, if there is a certain amount of space under a mountain roof, you can get an insect invasion. So yes, that is the main downside, and those are pretty difficult to deal with, I'll just say. If I get unlucky enough, we might actually get one at some point, if we are unlucky enough. Very bad insulation. When you're in a hot area, if you can actually dig into a mountain, it gives you natural cooling facilities, so you don't have to worry too much about, or as much about, making sure your colony is sufficiently chilled enough. But yeah, upsides is like, so the granite here has effectively 900 HP. This wooden wall has 195. Smooth granite is 900, and constructed granite, I don't think we've got any, but constructed granite is 550 HP. So you can immediately see, if you just dig out a mountain, hollow it out and smooth all of the walls, then you have almost twice the defensive capabilities compared to just constructing a wall out of granite. But granite is the strongest one, which is why I tend to go for colonies with granite and marble in, because you use granite for building and you use marble for nice looking statues. Yeah, the moment we have an insect infestation, I am gonna probably panic. I'll just say that. The first time we have an insect infestation, I'm probably gonna panic because I do not work well with them. No countermeasures. There are there are potential solutions. Blue Cornflower was telling me about some in the previous stream. Like, for instance, they won't spawn in here because there's no room for them. It's like they... So they won't spawn in here because there's no room. These are lit, so they'll be less likely to spawn in. Honestly, probably the main areas will be the butcher room here because it's dark and there is space, or in the freezer. Or in the freezer. Uh, I know there used to be a solution where if a room was cold enough, the bugs wouldn't spawn, but I think the developers gave them some countermeasures to extreme heat and extreme cold, simply because everyone was just basically either dialing down the temperature of a room to near enough absolute zero, or they would build up a thing like this. They'd have some like non-flammable walls. They'd go in, have a colonist pick up Molotov cocktails, throw a couple in, usually on some like tattered and tainted clothing or such, and let the insects boil. But they've kind of stopped that now, so you have to be a bit more careful and a bit more ingenious about how you manage all of them now. So we'll build a copy of this here, and then that will be even, because that will be 2 there and 2 there. Then this lectern. Thing is, I'd like to put it there, but it's not going to happen. And yeah, solution against insects have a messy room, completely opposite from real life. Indeed it is. Okay, so I'll put that there instead. Is there automation in this game, as in machinery, logic, and remote control from the perspective of the colonists? Not yet. Not yet. So the upcoming DLC for this, which is why the 1.4 version is in beta, will involve some method of mechanoid automation. So you'll be able to have mechanoids that will be able to do simple tasks. They will need to be controlled by a mechanator, which is basically a human or pawn colonist that has the control chip and capabilities to like manage and direct them. So there will be some automation incoming, and needless to say, mods allow for a fair amount of automation by themselves, but I've never really gone for them. Mods are always the winner. They are. It's why I'm so happy that Ludion Studios is so open to modding and the like. Because honestly, for me, it's like, it's not that I don't mod bad games to be good. I mod good games to make them better. Pretty much. If I'm looking for mods for a game, it means I really enjoy it and I want to see what it can do. Okay, got a raccoon that just self-tamed. What do you produce? Light leather. Yeah, okay, we can keep you for a bit. That'll be fine. You imagine an insect detector that lets the heater run full throttle. Oh, you say that, you don't actually really need to do that, because when you start up a game, if I just quickly save this one just to show. So we can quit to the main menu so we can go new colony. So scenario editor, so you can put in whatever you want within limits. Add custom structure, a specific age range. You can disable hunting, mining, sowing, taming, make characters explode on death, create an incident. So let me put that one in. So you can have any of these things happen as a guaranteed item within a specific interval. You can set whether it's a one-off or a repeat action. So you could have toxic fallout occurring like every 60 days if you really, really wanted to. I won't do that, but we can go next. So we can actually here, if we wanted to not have any enemies in the game, we could just do that. So we've got a civil outlander union, a gentle tribe, and a shattered empire, and we would not have to worry about any kind of insects or potentially raids or even anything like that. Small human embryos go through the stages of their ancestors' evolution, growing gill arches as fishes, or growing gill arches as they would have been fishes in ancient times. In the same way, small Rimworld players built their colonies in mountains as their ancient Dwarf Fortress ancestors did. I'm not really sure if you can say it's Dwarf Fortress ancestors if I've still yet to play the game. I'm still waiting on the Steam release. I'm still waiting on the Steam release for Dwarf Fortress with the like actual official graphics texture pack, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes you wish Rimworld was like Minecraft. How do you mean that, Lucas World? Any specifics or? Okay, I'm gonna remove all of those. We're going to need a new bit of bridge just to link that up. And there, a full 3D. Ah, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, I get you on that then. Yeah, the problem is, I think, creating like a colony management sim while also having it be a 3D fortress environment like Minecraft is probably a bit difficult for the average indie gamer to do. And obviously the big powerful developers probably just don't want to bother with that. Or at least multiple layers for Rimworld. Yeah, I've been seeing so many people wanting X layers, not X layers, Z layers for Rimworld. So I think if we're going to be going into that, ooh, who's got a major break risk and why? Cramped interior, awful barracks, pessimist, and hot. Is it that hot in here? Apparently it is in there. Is that new? Hang on. So that's 50 degrees. Oh my goodness. Okay, that, I don't think I've ever seen that before. The cooker actually now heats up the room it's in. Yeah, obviously, yeah, Minecraft is now owned by Microsoft, being created or being developed by a huge team, but yeah, it did start off as an indie game, a little passion project. Usually have lots of performance issues even with Rimworld or Dwarf Fortress. Yeah, I was just about to say that, Parsin. If there's going to be Z layers added to Rimworld, I agree with many other people that are saying that we need to actually go through and get multi-threading on Rimworld, because unless that's in the game, I really do not think Z levels are going to even be a possibility, even if it's done by modders and not the actual developers themselves. You do remember a 2D dwarf game with multiple layers. Multi-threading is not part of Rimworld, at least not what I've seen. And I actually have a 2D dwarf game that has multiple layers, so let me just see if it's... So one I have, and I've played a little bit of, is called Craft the World. So let me see. Let me just get a link up and see if that's the one you're thinking of or if it's a different one. So quick link to the Steam page. Oh, you've already found it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'll chuck the link in anyway, because that was one that I kind of potted around in. And I would say I'll go and check to see if Rimworld is actually multi-threaded, but I have no idea how to check that, if I'm being honest. You still consider that one a 2D game with one layer? Okay, makes sense. Make sure to expand this so we've got that additional area as cleaning. Yep, there we go. So this is now going to be our ideology ritual room. So we can do conversion rituals, public executions, leader speeches, all of that good stuff there. And then we'll also have a lectern, and we can start putting in all of these things like pews, maybe a reliquary, loudspeakers, drums, and if we wanted to inspire terror, we could do gibbet cages and skull spikes. We could do gibbet cages and skull spikes. Now, do I want to put loudspeakers in? What is our 160 excess? Probably because this is on. That takes 200. And that takes 40. And that takes 50. I think we'd finished researching that one, so I can deconstruct it. So 362, 410. Yes, and these will take up, doesn't say, let me just see, 150 watts each. Okay, I won't build some of those just yet, but I will. Okay, that's going to be an... Oh, okay, we do manage... Okay, we are going to manage to have one walkable space there, so we're going to do that one. And then a drum. Let's do one there and one there, so we actually get some options. There's a game called Dwarf Core. Let me have a look at that one. Aha, okay, yes. Okay, I see what you mean, yes. I see what you mean, kind of the 2.5D effects. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Stream Elements is seriously not on the that timing on the ad break one is still needs to be tweaked. That still needs to be tweaked because we had an advert like 7 minutes ago, so yeah, still needs to be tweaked a little bit. But that does remind me of one. There is actually a mod to make, yeah, there we go, Rimworld 3D. So it's actually called Yayo's Rim 3D. I'll just chuck that link in as well. But that one actually makes the graphics like it is in Dwarf Core there. A 3D game, unfortunately still only limited to the one level that Rimworld is. And unfortunately, it doesn't work with 1.4, at least not yet anyway. It's very, very weird to see the game running like that as opposed to how I'm used to. Actually, I'm gonna mine that out a bit more so we can extend that out. I know I'm being a bit indecisive on how we're going to have the ideology room. But we are also going to have at least a some more areas that we can actually do it all in. Yeah, I know you didn't mean the 3D aesthetics. It was just more, it's like, oh yeah, that reminds me of like this mod rather than any accurate comparisons. Okay, there we go. And then we can order all of these to be smoothed. Floors, smooth surface. And there we go. So those will all now become very, very pretty. Those will all become very, very pretty in due time. Just want to check on the storyteller settings. Yeah, ranty random blood and dust, but we're not getting any raids or anything like that. What is going on? What is going on? Favorite thing to do in Minecraft, build infrastructure, which means bridges, tunnels, gates, paths, roads. I know some of the things I've seen people in Minecraft do is just absolutely mind-boggling. And then, of course, my first time playing Minecraft was when I was working as a video game tester. So it was going around, it was like walking around, just very much a punch tree to get wood. It's like, how do I make a weapon? How do I make a pickaxe? And of course I kept on dying to the creepers. I kept on dying to the creepers, and after dying like 5 times, I finally relented and asked the person next to me, it's like, okay, silly question. How do I make tools? How do I make tools? Because I've never played this before and I do not know how. You also like building computer parts, all with all the red brick components and stuff. Have no use in survival. Yeah. Yeah, that is very much a creative mode option. Very much creative mode. Yeah. Minecraft is on my list of, I'll get around to playing it someday. When I've gone through all the other games that I want to play someday. Yeah, the Minecraft wiki, I mean, okay, I'm talking like 5 years ago, so probably it should have had the in-game tutorial and such. But still, I was definitely going in there with absolutely no knowledge. And because of the nature of the work that we were doing, we had no outside like connection access at all. So all of the computers and such that we tested on completely locked down, could not access the internet. Absolutely were not allowed to take a mobile phone in. You would be fired immediately and blacklisted. As like basically the only thing you could take in to the testing room was yourself and a drink. That was it. It was a fun time. It was a fun time, and I'll be willing to share some experiences if people are curious about it. I did obviously have to sign like an NDA, but again, 5 years ago, everything that I was able to see has long since been released. So nothing to really, or that would really need to be kept under wraps. So of course, did all of this, and now it needs to be changed again, doesn't it? At least that can be reinstalled. As can those. As can those. Okay. Good. And I also think, seeing as we do have electricity now, furniture, if I can remember where it is, we can do ourselves some standing lamps instead of a torch lamp. So if I do there and there, and then I bring down that and then bring that across, that should be decent enough. Yep, there we go. 320 watts positive. Okay, so that will be ready to go in a short while. No, I wanted to reinstall that. Can't do it because it's blocked by granite chunk. Oh, social fight. You two okay? Yes, I do know oxygen not included. Got it in my library, played it a tiny bit. Kind of dropped off playing it. Not that it was specifically difficult or anything, it just... I kind of bounced off it. How are we doing on that research? Getting about 80% of the way there. Too complicated, can't keep track of anything. There are quite a few things to keep track of. Okay, does this not automatically... Yes, it does take chunks, I just can't... Ah, there we go. Hopefully you should start moving at least some of those. There we go. Now we can move this. Had a ton of fun in it, making stuff in creative mode. I would go, it was like, oh, do they have a creative mode now? But seeing as I bought it, like, the month it came out in early access, is like, yeah, they probably have done all of that, haven't they? They probably have done all of that. There we go. There's the raid I was expecting. Okay, so we have 4 people. I just want to see, are any of you any good? Less of a creative mode, more like developer cheats enabled. Still allows you to have fun and interact with things. Incapable of caring and firefighting, you're a pyromaniac as well. No, we don't want that one. Minor passions, incapable of intellectual, incapable of caring, and social, incapable of caring. 15 melee, psychopath, and pretty. Right, who has a weapon? Steel club, steel knife. You do not have anything. You have a revolver, bolt action rifle. This is going to be tricky because you have guns. So they are attacking immediately. Right. This may be a situation where I need to use someone as bait. Oh no, they're going around the other way. They're going around the other way. Alt, reverse direction. Right. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Okay. Try not to do friendly fire. Melee attack. That was quick. That was quick. Take no prisoners, apparently. Take no prisoners. Move you up. Oh, headshot. Good thing you have a helmet. You are really bloody good or really bloody lucky. actually, I'm going to get you. Melee attack you. Okay, you both attacking the same person. You are. Okay, got a shot off on you. 2 shots. Left leg, left shoulder. Right arm has been shot off. So 44% manipulation and death in 6 hours. Minor. How are you doing? 13 hours. 20 hours. 17 hours. Okay. Injuries around, but not anything urgent. No. Melee attack him. Okay. Colonist needs rescue. Kidnap who they can and leave. Nope. You are not going to kidnap my colonist. Melee attack. Come on. Get Kit down. Get Kit. Yes, there we go. Phew. Alright, okay. And we got 3 people who we can draft up and help because they have not been injured at all. You can probably stop that, as can you. 10 to yourself and, yeah, 10 to yourself. Okay, so Kit. Are you any good? Nudity and chemical fascination? No, but we can grab your gun. So we will thank you for that. Sleepy. Incapable of intellectual? No. So it was, so it was a Nugfur down here that we wanted. We will take that gun though. Right, actually, change of plans. We don't need all 3 of you. You can stop. You can stop and... Okay. None of you have good medicine or good... what's the right word? Medical skill. Oh, you're already coming to rescue. Anyway, okay, we'll leave that then. So how are you doing? Bleeding out in 8 hours. Manipulation 70%. Manipulation 54%. I think it might be better. Neville and Christman, rest until healed in your respective rooms. Did you just dump steroid in there and you're not actually going to tend? Excuse you? Jeez. Okay, Tree has a medical skill of 2. Well, that's going to be better than nothing. And you have a medical skill of 2. All hands. What is your shooting skill of 7? Double passion. Why did you not have a gun in the first place then? Why did I not decide to give you a gun? I do not know, because... Okay, melee. Shooting 10. And... Okay, yeah, so you are definitely going to get that shotgun that's over here. You're okay on melee. And I guess I could always give you the other gun as well. How are we doing now? Really good. So unfortunately, Steroid has lost an arm. Steroid did lose an arm in that battle, so we are going to have to see if we want to start getting bionics around, or if we want to try and work on something different. Okay, fed. So we do still have a couple of corpses around here. Did we? Yes, we did create a corpse stockpile. I should have stripped them. I should have stripped that one before he died. Yeah, strip. Yeah, so once again, this is talking about previous versions and such. So previously it was perfectly fine to have raiders die. Oh, you only had a sheep wool veil on you anyway. So it was perfectly fine for raiders and such to die, and then you could just come through and sweep up their clothing with no problems. An update obviously changed that, so people could... Okay, we do have 248 plain leather. Okay, that's fine. So it was changed up that any clothing a pawn died in, whether they were a colonist or a raider or anything like that, immediately became tainted. Psychopaths do not care about it, but everyone else does. However, if you strip the clothes off a dying pawn and manage to get there before they die, it's absolutely fine to wear. It is absolutely fine for anyone to subsequently wear. Okay, let's get you to wear those flak pants then. Oh, Tree is on a tantrum because of immense pain. And apparently you... Oh yes, I remember. Yes, you have a wake-up addiction. But we knew that because you came with some of it in your inventory. What kind of area you're in? You see rhinos, raccoons, pine and fir trees. Let me just pop over to the world. So we are in a temperate forest. So many species of animals move around among the trees and on the plains. So we are right next to a tropical rainforest. And we do have a couple of patches of arid shrubland around and also grassland. So I suppose you could argue that due to the mishmash of areas we have around us, it kind of matches. Plus you also have to remember this is a completely random, not alien world. So all of these animals that we know of kind of got transported here with whatever humans wanted. A bit like someone deciding that they were going to go to Australia, they wanted something to shoot, so they decided to bring along a handful of rabbits, and then they all caused chaos around. Jeez, are you seriously just going to be going and smashing everything? Oh boy. Based on the real world, but won't attempt to be realistic. Yeah. So we do have, if we look here, so we've got squirrels, rats, hares, creatures called boom rats, monkeys. We've got a couple of chinchillas, still only male, but we'll tame those again. The raccoon opened a door. Yeah. Like tortoise, red fox, turkey. We've got cassowaries, capybaras, and then we've got boomalopes, and also a mega sloth around. So they will somewhat align to the environment you're in, but it will still be a bit scattershot as well. The reason the raccoon can open the doors is because it's technically part of our colony. So you can hand wave some of it and say, it's like, oh yeah, there's sensors to let it in or anything. Yes, extinct animals, and once again, even more with mods. Okay, Tree is still in a bad mood. Oh, okay, if you are going to complain about wielding a club, then I'll just take it off you. That will solve half things. Matty Powell, Alpha Barrack, say without table. Yeah, we do need to figure out the table. And you have a similar thing where you're going to complain about the steel knife you are wearing. Okay, if we move that over there, then we have Okay, apparently we are completely out of wood. We are completely out of wood. I think what we'll do is we'll start chopping down some of the trees around here so that it gives any raiders who do come across there less cover. And we can also do security and do a small barricade across here. It's not going to be amazing because we can't actually build in this section. It's too far off the map for us to do anything. But it will hopefully be better than nothing. Why are you guys? Serious pain, hideous environment. Well, I'm sorry, we don't have any painkillers that you guys can have. Why is half the stuff unpowered? Ugh. Because Tree, when he had his tantrum, destroyed one of the power cables. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. And going around in a daze. Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to tell you, smooth all of this then, and then you can deal with it. And it's the main junction, yes. This is why I tend to put redundancies in my systems. So even though we technically don't need it to come down here and go across there, it's going to be one of those things. Obviously, when we start getting some more power options, so we can have... so we've got renewable energy, which gives us geothermal power and solar powers. So we can go for that one. We'll have all of those options. And let me just see, because I know in a few mods there are additional power options. Doesn't look like we get it, but when we get some more energy options, we can start moving all of these around. Is 1.4 official release? Not yet, Uparsin. It's in the beta branch. So if I just pause that and go to my own version. So if you have Steam still accessible, if you right click, go to properties, go to betas on the option or on the pop-up box, and you can go down and select unstable public testing, and that will give you access to 1.4 beta, but it is very much in testing. It's not officially released to anyone. Correction, it's not officially released yet, but you can go in and play it if you want to do so. So I did give you a gun. Yes. You are not. Okay, are you going to complain about having a gun? No, you're going to be happy about that. Such a noble weapon. Okay, I just need to remember to take it back from you in 11 hours. Okay. Great planning, great timing. Okay, so that one we reinstall and then we build a copy here. And then we move that across. So that will get deconstructed and put in, a wall will be put in instead. Okay, that one can't connect because it doesn't actually, can't quite reach to a power cable yet. So we'll bring that down. I think we'll probably, yeah, you know what, I'm going to create a small redundancy in that so we get that over there. Let's see, redundancy, that will reach across there and be fine. This is a little bit iffy, but that will be able to reconnect there as well. cannot believe that the electric stove actually gives off so much heat now. Cannot believe that. It's like, have a look. It's like, okay, why are you complaining about it being swelteringly hot? It's like, why are you complaining about it being swelteringly hot? Oh, I guess they changed something about that then. So we don't need to kill any animals for meat, but we probably want to get some more leather off something. Okay, wool growth 100%, 31, and you're not old enough yet to get wool from you. Any of you that I can train? Nope, not at all. Not at all. And raccoon, let me just check. Do you eat? Yes, okay, you do have an omnivorous diet. Manage, and we'll create animal area, because some of the animals automatically will go into or be told to go in and use a pen. Some of them will not. So what I'm going to do here is just create a section so that any animals that do not automatically get sent into a pen will go into here instead, and that will keep them all nice and contained, which I know sounds really, really bad, which I know saying keeping them contained sounds really bad, but we'll just hopefully keep them well, keep them safe. They'll all be in one singular area. So that if we do happen to have an incident, they would be okay. Oh. Spacecraft chunks. Let's get rid of, or let's deconstruct them then. And see what we get, because that should be uranium. Yeah. Still uranium and components. And then this is the base game one. So that will just be the regular steel and components. And yep, steel and components. So this area, when we get a bit more stuff done, is probably going to be changed from a work area to a rec room dining area, just to make sure. And I'm thinking, just have to try and think where we're actually going to put the other resources one, because we've got the stockpile here. I guess we could potentially make a I say no, technically that's not a barracks. Oh well, because it's got the beds in it, it is classing it as a barracks. But either way, we'll be able to get a stockpile zone up. I'll do that when the time comes, because there's no point in me thinking about it now and agonizing over the decision. Oh, no, excuse me. Oh well. That auto pistol was only 50% quality anyway. But yeah, refugees are leaving. Okay, and this is the other option to get Psylinks. Someone has deserted the army of the Shattered Empire and is being hunted. He knows the key location, or knows the location of the key outpost containing everything needed to develop psychic powers, which are the Psylic Neuroformers. However, if you do this, you'll become an enemy of the Shattered Empire. Only accept if you wish to fight against them and develop Psycasters on your own. So needless to say, we will say no thank you. Move along. Okay, that's a poor quality and that's a normal quality bed. I'll turn that one back into a normal one. There we go. Quest complete. You have successfully completed Trees Vagabonds. So sometimes offering a place to live for refugees gives you some good stuff later on. Sometimes it's just the fact that you've helped them out tends to be enough. Okay, I don't want you doing that. I don't want you doing that either, do I? Okay, cut plants. Harvest grown crops. I always have to try and remember that this one is more about like cutting trees down. And then this one is more about actually harvesting things. Okay, quest available, the prophetic blueprint. Okay, so what can we get from here? Great bow, goodwill, or we can get Clark Tech medicine. We could get 3 of those, so from a mod. A kit of God Tech era medical equipment contains hyper-advanced drugs, non-item programmable matter healing tools, various hypertech diagnostic devices with inbuilt tutorials and guidance systems, various pads and fluids with basic and simple ABC labels, and a sapient guidance AI that will tell the user precisely what to use and when to use it. So we need to build a monument, 7 by 3 in size, and we'll need 120 of metallic, stony or woody resources, and 15 of either sandstone, granite, limestone, slate or marble blocks. Construction must be complete within 15 days and we'll have to protect it for 28 days. If any piece is destroyed, the enforcement system will activate and a mech cluster will land with a pikeman, EMI dynamo, countdown activator, proximity activator, unstable power cell, mech node, and 3 mini slugger turrets. Not for those rewards, I don't think. The Clark Tech medicine would be interesting, but we do still have a stock of 30 regular standard medicine, which should be enough for our standards. And yeah, I'm sorry, the supercharged, if that was a joke or reference to something, I'm sorry I didn't get it. Sorry to say. But yeah, I'm expecting that the 1.4 update will actually officially release out a beta and we will get the biotech DLC by the end of the month. Ah, okay. I'm stating electric heaters create so much power and you're there supercharged. Okay. Right, got it. But yeah, I'm expecting biotech to be out by the end of the month because I actually went and counted it out. So discounting when Rimworld officially released 1.0. Oh yeah, we can get rid of all these now, can't we? Discounting when Rimworld released 1.0 because I didn't check that. When we had royalty release, it was then 16 months until ideology released. And this month, October, is 16 months since ideology released. So the odds are of us getting biotech this month are just simply based on that, I would say is pretty good. Okay, we don't need a light in there because that is just a stockpile. And managed to save up another 5,000 points. I see you pass in. Another 5,000 points. I was going to say, no, that can't be our colony raccoon because ours is over here. Though we could. Let's see if we can just tame that raccoon. Miss Streamer, we're passing is bragging again. Well, so long as he is bragging in the appropriate manner, it's not a problem. Be quiet and settle down. And of course, the other thing I forgot to look at, we have a thrombo. So male thrombo, do we have a second one? Oh my goodness, yes we do. No handler can tame, requires level 10. Best handler steroid has 9. Oh my goodness. Okay, steroid. Steroid. You, my friend. Okay, is there anything else we can tame that we want? Is there anything else we want to tame? Mega Sloth, 30% chance of attacking. You know what? Let's do it all. You are just going to go out there and you are just going to tame everything, steroid. Okay, animals 9.1. That's probably not going to be enough to get us. That's probably not going to be enough to actually get us up to level 10 before. And it'll pass in Cavatina. But yes, if Rapacian starts boasting in the actual comments about how many points he has, I wouldn't necessarily say that, Lucas World. I know it's going to be corny to say, but everyone has their strengths and weaknesses in various subjects. I mean, put me in front of a computer and ask me to write a program and I will... Like, you will have to sit down with me like I'm 4 years old and have to explain every single thing step by step with me going, why? And why do you do that? And what do we do now? Because I just do not understand programming. Okay, contract workers wanting to lend one colonist for 7 days. So one thing that I like to do here is if I have a colonist who's like in a really bad mood, I tend to like sending them off because I get a bit of a respite. So for instance, I'd be tempted to send him off for a bit if he weren't in the middle of a psychic break at the moment. True, still I learnt more about history of music through a pass-in than school. Yeah, that's another thing as well. Some of the stuff you learn, you don't actually tend to learn from school, just various life and experiences. Okay, what's your... Okay, yeah, animal skill is 9.2. Whether we're going to be able to get that up before these disappear, yeah, probably going to be another matter. Berry bushes. How many of these? Got quite a few ready for harvest, so we might as well go through and do that. So we needed 8 plants as well. So 3. Neville is almost there, 7.93. Let me just have a look. Okay, so we will start getting some herbal medicine through. This Nutramine probably needs to be cooled just so it stops deteriorating and we can make some more high quality medicine. At least for a tiny bit. And that one is for you. I mean, I woke you up just to pull that Nutramine. I didn't mean for you to do all of these tasks and everything. Ah, there we go. You're no longer wandering around. So that expires in 3 days. So 3 is less than 7. So quests, it was Neville. There we go. 1.4 honor, just to get you up. Oh, and that's a good... no, actually, I was going to say that's a good thing. That's good that we're sending you across, but no, because Neville is psychically hypersensitive. -22 versus -12 for everyone else. That is not good, and every single colonist is male, so that might be a little bit of a problem for us. And here comes the shuttle. There we go. So get you in. A cavatina is like an aria from opera, but a little bit easier. Most of the cavatinas are major in a music sense, bright, optimistic, sometimes funny, and often glorify its singer, so it's not rare for a cavatina song to imply bragging. Okay, that was a nice little dollop of knowledge there, thank you. I did look it up, and all I really got was that a cavatina is like a shorter aria. So, though a question, I know that an arietta is a like small aria. Is there really a difference between an arietta and a cavatina, or is it just a matter of, like you said, cavatinas are like an aria but easier? Or is it just a matter of different terminology, if you know at all? Sorry, apparently still quite a bit tired. Furniture, did not want that, I want production. High-tech research bench. There we go, and... do we not have a multi-analyzer yet? A cavatina may be as long or even longer than aria, but it's easier in terms of vocal techniques. Okay, makes sense. I don't quite know why all these musical terms absolutely need to be in Italian and you cannot translate them, but well. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to take a moment to go through all of these and just make sure I'm not missing anything. Altered rig beacon, we can't really do anything extra there. Extended furniture, extending building options. Regular furniture. Nothing there. Regular structure. Production. No, I guess you do need to finish off the microelectronics to get the multi-analyzer then. Okay, we've got a squirrel. 9.29 skill. Yeah, all of these animals we're probably just going to release back into the wild when we're done with our taming spree. I was going to say, it's like, oh yeah, shuttle arrived, okay. Wait, did I actually send it off? But yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So you are taming a hare. It's fine, smoothing floor and meditating. So how many more points? So we should hopefully maybe be able to get to Acolyte soon, and that will come with another Psi-Link ability, still completely random because I imagine the vanilla expanded team are having a lot of stuff that they need to work on. Yes, of course, probably because you are prioritizing that over this. We're not actually getting any of those trees chopped down. So in Dandelion, that's not what I want you guys to be doing. Oh well. I'll just leave that for the moment. The boat is right there. 9.51. Okay, we are halfway to the next level. Let me have a look, because there is a block, or once you get above a certain experience gain per day, it does tend to reduce the experience gained by quite a lot. That's another chinchilla, so that's in the pen. That's fine. And yeah, by the way, Upasin, thank you very much for making me self-conscious about the amount of times I say that's fine or this is fine. I am very keenly aware of the amount of times I've been doing that now. So I've been making sure to avoid stating that too much. It is anything but fine. It is anything but. Just realised that things have been a little bit quiet, so let's turn that up and see if the music goes on. Everybody needs some quirks. I know. I know, I'm just... Well, I say I'm self-conscious. It's not really. It's just more trying to turn around and make sure I don't say it too much. And hello there, I'm not a bot. How are you doing? I hope things are going decently with you. Okay, so that's 2 rats we've got now. 9.61. We're going to have quite a menagerie when we're done here. Let me actually just see. So, gestation time 20 days and growth time 79 days. But having some thrombos in will be fantastic. This game is fun with mods. It is. So, I have a few mods around. Most of them obviously are not working quite with 1.4 beta just yet, but the ones that are working, most of them seem to be smooth. And I was so glad to load this up earlier and see that RimHUD has been updated, because I have been missing this so much. I have been missing this so much. Yeah, unfortunately, I am not a bot. The chat for Twitch does not like any kind of paragraph breaks. You don't know Italian, Pasin, but it's a good language, much better than French. It looks like some person just spilled out a bunch of Latin letters, then grabbed them together, but was greedy and preferred to use 4 letters on one sound instead of leaving some untouched. Also broke some letters, but since he was greedy, he used their shards as diacritic signs. Oh, at least that's a kinder description than what I've heard of English. That's a kinder description than what I've heard of English. But yeah, some English things are very, very interesting. It's fine as long as you can make memes. Yeah, you can still make memes, don't worry. And Lucas World, let me quote the Matrix. Cursing in French is like wiping your ass with satin. Though, oh, okay, this is very, very tangentially related, but I've done like a couple of Mass Effect playthroughs just generally in my own time, and the custom shepherd I used, well, I intended to have a couple of people. I intended to have like a couple of different shepherds to explore the different like backstories and such, but my main shepherd basically took a hold of me and went, no, you are only writing and thinking about me. So the the tangent that's related to this. So she's part Italian, part German, part English. Italian is her mother tongue. The language she uses most often is English. But when she swears, she chooses to swear in German just because she likes the way German sounds when swearing. Just because. You can't agree with that? Well, why not? What's your opinion on swearing in German then? Swearing in German is 80% religious stuff. Yeah, I'm more talking about the like phonic sounds and everything. Oh, he does have a habit of just dropping like 5 scheisses at once, though. You just see it and it just like blips up. It's like blip, blip. The translations. 20% discrimination. Yeah, I mean, we have similar things here in the UK, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, we do have similar things here in the UK. But I have asked a few people for suggestions on that. uh, yeah, the most famous ones. So I just have just spewing those out on occasion. But if she starts swearing in English, you are in trouble. And the passing, not good at German, but for you, German may sound like swearing unless you're trying to really swear in German. Yeah, you are probably, yeah, because that low psychic drone slept in the cold. Is it really getting that cold here? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we're actually going to have to start putting a few heaters down. Put one there. And then if I reinstall this, can I reinstall on top of a thing that's going to be reinstalled? Nope. And swearing in English is a thing here. Yeah. I'll put that one there and then I'll move this one down a bit. But yeah, like I was saying, swearing in German is a conscious decision on her part. So if she kind of swears naturally, for lack of a better term, it's either in Italian, or if she's exceedingly pissed off, it's in English. As the resident Brit here, once saw a meme comparing British and American swearing. One actually went and the other went, bloody hell, pixie dust. Now, let me guess. The first was British and the second one was American. How much truth is there to that? Kind of yes and no. It's like you'll get the like bloody hell as more of a kind of casual swearing. Like we'll still drop F-bombs around. We'll still do that. And obviously there's a fair few other swears that get dropped down that will be horrifically insulting in America, but is less so in the UK. But yeah, I have heard some people like British swearing just because they can use all of these vastly different words and such. Oh, that's almost mined out. That's good. English came from Britain, not just made for swearing, but it's pretty good to make a refined praises and compliments to hide the insult among sophisticated words. Yeah. Southern American is very good for that as well. It's like if you find like Southern American, it's like, oh, bless your heart, you sweet darling. And it's like that kind of thing. That kind of thing is just so many backhand or backhanded compliments and slight insults that unless you know about it, you're not really going to pick it up. British English can be pretty poetic. German labelled the language of poets and thinkers. People are pretty direct. Yeah, Hello, Hello, Tim. Oh, I actually turned the volume down on that one as well, so it's not as ridiculously loud. How are you doing today, Tim? Hope things are going decently for ya. I really should expect you to pop in, or I really should expect that sound when I hear you. Okay, we do have some wood lying around. Yep, that's fine. And there I go again with a, that's fine. So, plant cutting I put up on a priority. I think I'll put the construct back up a bit. As I imagine getting a sugar tax. What are you meaning / referencing with that? I'm not a bot. Not quite sure if I've missed something there. Oh, okay, apparently I didn't realise we had a couple of other animals that needed to go in a pen because they are just tracking dirt all over the place. It's acceptable, it's within expectations, it's agreeable. Are we just going to sit here and try and figure out how many synonyms for it's fine who we can find? Oh, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. It looks like the thrombos disappeared before we could even attempt to tame them. Right. I might as well cancel all of those. We have one female chinchilla. We have one female chinchilla out in the wild. So many phrases can be all combined into it's fine. Yes, they can. Okay, emergency descent. Oh. Right, this is difficult. This is difficult. Okay, a shuttle of the Shattered Empire has taken damage. Pirates from the Nightblades will attack. You must defend them. Shuttle contains Theodore and 2 troopers. The commander must be rescued. So this is difficult because it can potentially land on the other side of the map. And after 8 hours, a rescue shuttle will come and pick up the survivors. 2 honor and shuttle loot. 2 Clark Tech medicine and 110 silver. No, I'll cancel that one out. Oh, the UK sugar tax, yeah. That was not necessarily well received. That's not necessarily been well received. Okay, we're actually getting some construction back. Or construction resuming. No, not remove floor, smooth surfaces. doesn't look like we've got any better flooring then. And I am not a bot comes in with the boast as well for today. Got a couple of people who've been unintentionally saving their points. No, that was a builder copy, not a reinstall. And then we need to wait for that to get moved across to move the... There we go. So I was doing this because of the refugees complaining that they had tattered clothing. How much? Oh yeah, we've got more than enough steel for all of this stuff. The Sugar Act of 1764 is resurrected. Okay, you're going to have to tell me about that, passing, because I do not know it. Okay, got some rice down here. Okay, and you know what? So all of the rats get to be released, as do the squirrels and the raccoons. The alpacas and chinchillas we will keep. The chinchillas will be a small resource of meat and nice chinchilla fur, and then the alpacas we can get some regular wool off them on occasion. So if I flick that off, we are at minus 300 watts. I'm American. If that's UK history, I don't know. I mean, even if that is UK history, I don't know. I know there's quite a few odd things around. Like during the Georgian period, there was a window tax. If you ever wonder why, if you look around at some old British buildings, some of the windows / window areas are all bricked up. It's because of the window tax that was done in the 1800s. Or was it 1700s? No, 1700s, 18th century. People's reaction to being taxed on something they owned was to reduce the amount that they owned, oddly enough. London window tax. Tom Scott made a video about that. The name sounds familiar. Let me have a look. Tom Scott window tax. Okay, no, it doesn't even look like I've watched any of his videos from what I can see. So I'll have to look that up. I will have to look that up. He's a good YouTuber that goes all around the world, talks about curious things like a radioactive cave, climatized house mantle, elevator that runs in 4 directions. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the things that he's got, and that does look fascinating. That does look fascinating. Though I see he's got one on a geyser that shoots sparkling mineral water. If he hasn't already, he should go to Iceland, because there's actually the world's first and only hot water waterfall there. Britain's most dangerous footpath. Okay, I'm going to need to have a look at that one. And I'm not a bot. British people cannot stop stealing stuff and putting it in the museum. Yes. Yes. Oh, there's a meme that I've been seeing around. Can't quite recall what it specifically is off the top of my head, but it is essentially like something is like personal item or belonging to a country, and then it's like British Museum is like, or is like eyeing it up or preparing to steal it. The village where everyone has a personal train. Now, is that simply because It's so popular that so many trains come through it, but there's such a small number of people in the village that there's one train every day, week, month for every person that lives there. That would be my initial guess, but I'll have to have a look at that when I've got some time tomorrow. Let's make sure to mark it and keep myself aware of it. Imagine a solar-powered train. Imagine a solar-powered train in Britain. That thing would never run. I kid, of course, I know the logistics. You don't need it to actually be a proper full-on sunny, non-cloudy day to use solar panels. So roads can't be used there. It's mostly underwater, but railways are made some time ago, so the villagers use self-made mini trains, 3 to 4 meters long, single cabin. Interesting. Interesting. There we go. There's some nicely chopped wood. And one change in version 1.4, it actually leaves behind stumps that you can either leave to deteriorate and will deteriorate naturally. So we can see here, deteriorate 3.5 days. This one that was just chopped, 3.3 days. But you can also additionally chop them to get a little bit extra wood. It's not going to give you much, but hang on a minute. That is like, ooh, like a 93% quality plasteel knife. Where did that come from? Steroid dropped it when he was incapacitated with that raid. Steroid dropped it. That's where it came from. How are we doing? Minus 22 watts. So I kind of want that mod back that turns off the lights whenever people exit or leave a room. Because these are only taking up 30 watts each. But similarly, we have 9 of them, so that's 270 watts just on that. So the Sugar Tax Act is all about the US and UK. Sugar or Plantation Act was a system of new taxes, especially on sugar and molasses, and customs duties for colonies of the empire, and a few other things about sugar trading. Brought in a lot of money, some protests and rebellions. There's a bloody suppression. There's lots of shady business and contraband. Lots of hate towards Prime Minister George Grenville, and then reducing the tax burden and legislative relief in general. Okay, so pretty standard stuff in terms of putting on a tax, trying to mitigate and minimize things, and it just basically making a black market that runs rampant. It's one of the things I find intriguing about prohibition in the US. The fact that honestly it just made things in terms of utilizing and using alcohol even worse, especially because the mafia started to utilize it as well. Is I've heard some things kind of saying that the only reason prohibition was actually repelled was because the mafia was paying all the law enforcement people so much money that it actually ended up being profitable for them to just take the money and basically allow alcohol again. But I've no idea how much of that is actually true. But yeah, trying to suppress something never really works because it just drives it in the hands of criminals and into the black market. Which, tangentially related, one thing we are going to need to decide is if we want to actually start growing some drugs of our own. It was interesting in the context of the sugar trading history, but from other sides, it's reflective of general processes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I can actually move these around and make some things a bit better. There we go. I don't quite know why you three are still sleeping outside. How much alpaca wool have we got? 135. That's not much. I would have thought we had more. I would have honestly thought we'd had more. That is stable 21 degrees there. And that is moderately stable now, even without the vents. And obviously we're going to be smoothing all of these out, hopefully getting a few more rooms cleaned up. You will return in 3 days, and then hopefully we should get that 4 honor for steroid and bump him up to the next level. Yeah. I'm actually somewhat glad I don't have the biotech DLC at the moment, because I would be all in on seeing if we could get some child colonists. But seeing as every single one of our colonists that we have at the moment are male, the odds of us getting children without opting for like some fat-grown kids is probably fairly slim. Just checking that that is a steel knife there and not anything we want to better have. There we go. 21 degrees for all of that. And a mad monkey. I'll just put the hunt marker on you. And put you behind the barrier there and just make sure. Yeah, I can tell where you are. Right there. Yeah, missing, so you're going to have like a 20% chance. And you're going to have 16%. Okay, if you're coming over here, you move over there. I was about to say, where are you going? There's no humans over there for you to hunt or for you to attack. Move you up 1 square, and then that should be only 27%. There we go. Completely destroyed its neck and died instantly, more or less. And of course, speaking of Rimworld and new content, if anyone here actually watches Mr. Samuel Streamer on YouTube, formerly Roll 1D2 Games, he actually did a sponsored video, which, if you know him, he basically never takes sponsorships. So apparently Paradox are publishing a game by someone that is essentially Rimworld but in space. Basically, you start with a damaged spaceship and you have to try and repair it and ensure that all of the people aboard don't suffocate and die, and you have loads and loads of options and things to do. So I was thinking, if somewhat people are actually streaming that today, which I checked before, I started streaming and some people were, we might go and have a look at that game, because if you like Rimworld, this new game actually looks pretty interesting. Which spaceship with meteorite, and we have oxygen not included. I mean, somewhat. Obviously, it's in the same vein of a like colony management sim. Switch survival with industry, and we have Factorio. Now, Factorio is not just industry. Factorio is how best can we manage and automate this system. Okay, that's interesting. So we've got some Switch crashed with hunted, and we have faster than light. All are so similar. That's not necessarily a bad thing. So we've got black-footed ferret. So we did have a notification that these were endangered species. So this is from Vanilla Animals Expanded Endangered. So if we can actually tame them, bring them into our colony, breed them, and then release their offspring, we'll actually get a bump of opinion with a few other people. And of course, that could be fun to do. Steroid. Having a tantrum, so going to break things in his room. Fine, you're only going to harm yourself in the long run. I would try and arrest them or I would try and arrest the colonists when they have a mental break like this, but honestly, the opinion malice that they're going to get from having, or from me doing that, is going to be a lot more than what they're going to get from catharsis, so we will have to leave them be for the moment. And of course, obviously, broke down another one of the power cables. Power. There we go. Unfortunately, quite a lot of that. I need you to get up and work on the power conduit. There we go. Because otherwise this is all going to disappear. Everything else can wait until the morning. And switch games groups with God's will, and we have indie game developments by a small group of enthusiasts. Yeah. But I am glad that we do have indie developers and whatnot actually making colony management, city management, simulation games, because honestly, those are pretty much the games that defined my childhood. Cargo pods. Okay, what do we have in here? A Labrador Retriever meat. It's not human meat, so I'm not going to care. It's not human meat, so I don't care. Hey, we got that chinchilla. That is nice to see. And the black-footed ferret. Oh, did the other one die? Oh, no. Oh, no. That's going to be a shame if that happened. Gosh, where would its body even be if it had died? That would be a question, because it spawned over here and then moved across. Yeah, I have... Oh, that's a shame. Okay, well, we'll cancel that. So there's no point only getting one. No point only getting one if we're not going to be able to breed them. Yeah, if only we had big developers making games, you doubt you'd even need one hand to count existing genres. Oh yes, we probably need some hay grass, don't we? We probably need some hay grass being grown. Let's actually swap that out for there. The nutrient growth 1.95, nutrient consumption 2.45. We're probably going to have to expand this out a bit, so might as well do that now. So otherwise I am just going to completely forget. As you know, I have a tendency to do that. Swap that over to hay grass, then we can deconstruct that. Yeah, but the genres would then be called Ubisoft, Bethesda, and EA. True that. True that. Hey, are you not hauling it just because you've got so many other things to do? It looks like it. Deconstruct. Plant cut. There's too many things. This needs to all be hauled in other than anything else. I was going to say, wait, how did the rhinos get in the pen? But they apparently just have the ability to wander in and out as they like. Yeah, for example, favourite game genre, text adventures and text RPGs. When was the last text game made not by indie developers? Zorks in the 80s? Yeah, that's one thing because... Oh, obviously, back then, it's like... Or video game graphics would have been exorbitantly expensive to make and maintain, so text adventures were pretty much the go-to thing. So with good graphics now, you don't need to just have text-based games, but yeah, there is obviously a niche for them, but it's just not profitable for the big companies, unfortunately. Just not doable. When we get geothermal power, I think I might increase the pen to across there, so it goes from there to there. Then we can come down here. So this will be maybe like kind of have the pen up top, and this may be where I decide to put the production room and storage area, because that'll be right close to that. So that should, if we keep this down here and then we have that as well, that should help us build a redundant system. But then we are still losing power. Or rather, we don't have enough power. Could I actually move those and then deconstruct those ones? Just to see. Would that still be lit enough? I want you to deconstruct these ones first. Okay, so 50%. Yep, that is fine. And that gets us down to minus 150. Not quite what I was hoping. Target temperature 21 degrees, takes 175 watts. How much is that? 200. Okay. Yeah, so the definition of like indie and AAA is interesting because it can actually vary between people. My limit tends to be based on how many people and developers there are, and obviously like how many game releases and such can be done in a year. Hello, Blue Cornflower, how are you doing today? Small indie developers exist, it's fine. There will always be some economic leaders among genres and companies, but if the leaders are the only option, then there's problems, stagnation, and degradation. Yeah, this is why Steam, has it's gone over the past 10 years, has been like fantastic, because essentially anyone who makes a game, if they have a spare $100, they can slap it up onto the Steam Workshop. Now, obviously, that's not a good situation in every sense of the word, because you do get asset flip games, and you do also risk putting up games that try and steal personal data and the like. So it's not perfect in any sense of the word, but it does also mean that people who do their own games have potentially a very, very wide audience to catch. And yeah, so Lucas will know a few games from studios that self-publish, 5 to 20 people and such. Not classic indie, but definitely not AAA. So yeah, I would class like self-publishing, 5 to 20 people. Yeah, that is definitely on the borderline between indie and a more developed game studio. I mean, self-published 20 people, I'd still personally consider that indie. And true indie websites too, without the paywall to publish, like itch.io. Yes, I admit I forgot about itch.io. So yeah, there's another option there. Obviously, if you want to put up not necessarily like a demo, but like a or demonstration or small little game you've made that you know people aren't going to pay for, at least not involuntarily, is a really, really clumsy word, but I can't think of the right one at the moment. Obviously, itch.io, you can pay over what they're asking for, but the set purchase price is 0. And so point and click games for passing, I like them. Golden Age pass, but old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. Yeah, indeed. It's one of these things. There's always going to be ebbs and flows on every kind of genre, which I think in most cases the indie developers are going to be the ones that help bring it back, because they're going to develop one on their own time with their own money or a small amount of funds. And there's obviously going to be chances that obviously a small little indie game does so well that big publishers really, really take notice. Case in point, if any of you saw the Nintendo Direct last month, there were so many Stardew Valley-esque farming simulation games. Farming simulation games out that it's almost ridiculous. One small indie developer makes a game based on Harvest Moon, which in itself was a franchise that was a bit iffy because of licensing things. And then suddenly, hey, farming simulator games are all popular again. Yeah, so examples being like the Book of Unwritten Tales or the Daedalic games. Both German dev teams prepare for sudden dark humour. Maybe you've seen me at Chew stream swearing about Rufus from Deponia being a disgusting bastard. Yeah, I've heard a few things about that. If the game wasn't so old, and I legitimately need a walkthrough to get through it, I'd be tempted to play The Longest Journey, but that one is just so old, and I'm going to be sitting there with a guide letting me know what to do, that it's just not going to be fun. It's just not going to be fun at all. And Rufus is the best. I think we've got a bit of conflicting viewpoints there. Either way, okay, all animals are in a pen. That should be in a pen. There are no other chinchillas around. If I'd seen such an NPC in a D&D campaign, I'd kill him even if he was a key character from the plot. Oh, yeah. That kind of character then. Hey, hello, let's see. Yes. So I took a gamble. So he does have catharsis still for another 2.8 days. So effectively, his mood was paused the entire time he was away. Let me just check steroid. They say no, not steroid Neville. So we still only got yeoman. Okay. Right. Okay. Lucas World being absolutely sarcastic. Rufus made to be that way. The entire story is building up hate on him and laughing whenever he messes up. Okay. Okay, makes sense. I'm sorry if any yawning's coming across on stream. I'm just, like I said, still a bit tired with everything that's going on. Ooh, okay, we've got an eclipse and 2 colonists have gotten muscle parasites. Ouch. So, increased pain, reduced manipulation and moving. So, time for the good meds on you then. So, if we turn that medical, and it was also you. So, rest until healed. Unfortunately, you're actually our best. You are our best doctor. So, muscle parasites, if I remember correctly, need 300% tend quality before they even have a chance to go away. So let me just sight and tend and see what percentage we get for you. 37. Okay. Probably would have been better just leaving you in the room and having someone else tend you. I think it's really refreshing to see a protagonist, not just a hero or being not just a hero or anti-hero. He's a character we definitely don't need but deserve. He's a terrible character, but I can't call him badly written. Yeah, that's the main thing. Is that you can have protagonists who are like absolute sleazeballs, absolutely horrific, but there is definitely a huge difference between being a bad, ineffective, awful character and a badly written, awful character. I mean, you can have the best, biggest damn hero in the world, but if they're poorly written, then they're just going to be... It's not going to be interesting at all. And yeah, Rufus is the best. Poor people who have to put up with him. I can imagine. I can definitely imagine that. Okay, hopefully once we get all these things smoothed out, that's going to start increasing the opinion on these. So beauty, yeah, cleanliness. Yeah, okay, we're definitely going to have to start getting some sculptures out as well. This is probably going to be removed when we get or finish up the microelectronics and get the high-tech research bench. Oh no, wait, because we can't get the multi-analyzer until we've got... Yep. Okay, ignore me. I was... completely forgot that we can't actually get the multi-analyzer until that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yes, that would fit there. So that would fit there. So we could move the chess table across here. Then we could add... potentially, we can move this back then and we could put the art bench. Yeah, okay, I think that's what I'm going to do. So if we just decide to uninstall all of those for now, and we might as well uninstall that, and then we can put that where the high-tech research bench is going to be, at least temporarily. And then we can plan that out. And how is our power doing? 8 watts excess. We have a net positive. We have a net positive on things. So reinstall that there. And yeah, it's a little unpleasant to be sold into slavery or eaten by a slime monster along with 4 other children. Yes, indeed. Okay, nope, we're down to minus 150 watts again. Okay, 100 steel and 2 components. And there's our quest Royal Ascent. So the High Stellar of the Shattered Empire will perform a customary visit with any count of his domain upon request. Invite him, satisfy his royal needs for 12 days, and all of you can ride the shuttle to the Imperial Flotilla. You may then join the Imperial Court or escape to a new life. Earning the title of Count means completing quests to earn honour. During his visit, you must keep his mood above 25%. This means providing royal prerequisites like a lavish bedroom. Others will take the opportunity to try and kill the High Stellar. So he will bring 4 of his personal guards and place them under your command. You must house these guards, but the High Stellar will not complain if they are killed or unhappy. If you fail this quest on Migrate, you will have another chance at it later. So this is one of the options. This came in with, obviously, royalty, to have an option to escape from the planet. How well that's going to work is obviously naturally down to you. It may be one that I try and go for, because for one, I've not done it, and for another, we do have Neville, who is building his way up to be someone of note in the Empire, so it could be an option. Or we may want to go for something else. Okay, where is the art bench? We can start getting... Oh no. The plague. We've got the plague. And food binge because you are sick. Yeah, well, unfortunately, I can't do anything about that. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I have a mod which changes up the medical he-diffs. So we can see here, total 10 quality, 37% out of 300. So we can see the progress on that one, which is going to be good. Okay, and that means, okay, yes, we have over 1,000 watts excess now. And that means we could probably turn these back on. And we still have over 600 watts. Reinstall these. And where's the last one? There it is. And a solar flare. Right after a solar eclipse as well. That has to be the best timing, doesn't it? That just has to be the best timing. thankfully 1.7 days, 4 days, 10 days. Yeah, okay, so that's cold enough on its own to make sure we're not really going to lose. Oh, there we go. Solar flare is ending. That was nice and quick. That was nice and quick indeed. They say, who on earth? Muscle parasites and food poisoning. Oops, muscle parasites and food poisoning. Okay, let's actually move. Oh, great. You got reset on quite a lot of things then. Plant cut, yep, grow, but harvest to 0. Smithing, tailoring. Who is the best artist? Level 4. And basically we want to make a small sculpture. Do until you have 2 of normal quality. Wood, yes. Steel, no. Stone blocks. Marble, yes, but not anything else. So we may have to look around for some marble chunks, which is right there. Just set those to haul, like general, excuse me, generic hauling. 200 alpaca wool. Furniture. Where is that big cozy armchair? 110. So we are potentially going to have someone sitting at that research bench for absolutely ages. So we might as well at least try and get one. Or get a comfy chair down. Immunity 41 versus 39. 41 versus 39. 34 versus 39. Okay, you need... Well, okay, you don't necessarily need the good medicine, actually, because you're male, so you're... Oh my goodness, yeah, all of the young ones are male. So probably we could actually just sterilize all of you. That's another good thing I love from the 1.4 update, is that we actually now can sterilize just all of the older, or we can just sterilize any of the animals that we don't want to be breeding, and we don't have to get them, make sure they're in dedicated different areas and they're not going to come into contact. We can just go, nope, sterilize, and that's all good. I'm going to say, speaking of that, how old is our oldest alpaca? 11. So we will be good on that. Alpaca 2 has just given birth to a girl. Good. Good. Seriously, are none of you guys going to actually do any construction? No, you are not. Yeah, I'm gonna need to reset you here as well. Oh my goodness, why does it clear out everything like that? Spontaneously started Googling Osamu Dazai's bibliography. Does this count as suicidal behaviour? I don't know. Depends on what he writes. Osamu Dazai. Semi-autobiographical style. What kind of stuff has he written? if you're reading No Longer Human, I would consider that at least a little bit iffy, seeing as it's considered somewhat semi-biographical, and the fact that he took his own life after writing it is iffy. But I would say that obviously writing what's written is not necessarily I can't think of the right words. You wouldn't think that I write as a hobby by the amount of times I go, I can't think of the right word. What an author writes is not what an author condones. But some actions and thoughts in the writing may reflect them. Yeah, depressed and depressive classic Japanese writer wrote a novel about depressed and depressive men who commit suicide before committing suicide himself. Yeah. A Beggars Need Charity, 200 silver. How much do we have? 568. Cannot remember if we have a silver deposit anywhere. I don't think we did. Let me just have a look. But yeah, I would say cautiously that if reading something like that is making you depressed or more depressed than usual, I would consider that something to be cautious of. Compacted steel. Because obviously I deal with depression myself, and I probably wouldn't want to risk reading something like that if I knew it was going to, there we go, there's some silver ore, if I knew it was going to negatively impact me. So we probably should be able to give those people Galena. And our best social is basically no one. Very well, give 200 silver to you. And then if we come back over here and make sure, so mining skill of 4, 5. Yeah, just essentially make sure that the people who've got the best mining skill are working on this, because higher skill is going to mean a higher I'll be able to get more resources. You've read No Longer Human. One person recommended me read it because that story may help me when you were rehabilitating in hospital after a suicide attempt. It was an evil person. I can imagine. It's like the fact that, from what I can tell, the person in the story themselves commits suicide. That's probably not something you want to give to someone who's in hospital after such an event themselves. And fibrous mechanites. Okay, so this is an iffy medical condition because it does, like, it does increase pain, but it also increases manipulation, movement, blood pumping, and then restful rate plus 70%. Okay, someone, oh, you've been tended, 107%. And 50% for you. Dear, that's not going to work too well. You're going to have those for a long while. I need you to tend. No, actually tend with medicine, please. That's better. Oh, and we have a couple more statues we can... Oh no, just 2. Okay. Yep, alpaca 4 has died of the plague. That was unexpected. Or that was expected. Because I wasn't... Or, like, infection was higher than immunity, but as it was just a male alpaca, I wasn't too concerned. Because we do have a decent number of them. There we go. Okay, and if we expand this up, okay, that's not actually gonna join up those two zones, which is slightly annoying, but we can do that. Plant hay grass, horse, and critical priority. No, good, normal, poor, and normal. So yeah, obviously we're going to be putting the small statues in here. So Bill's... Oh, is one of them... Ah, okay, that one's only poor quality. Right. That one's normal, so that gives us a small bonus. Surgery failed on alpaca 6. Oh, okay, that can fail. Right. Shattered jaw. Don't bother. It's got a shattered jaw. It's not going to recover from that, unfortunately. I don't have animal prosthetics, so there's going to be no way that that animal is going to survive. There's no way that animal is going to survive. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have ordered sterilization on all of those young male alpacas, because, well, 2 of them are now dead. 2 of them are now dead. That is not fun at all. I forgot how much work these armchairs take, though. I seriously forgot just how much work these take. A major break risk, steroid, why is that? 6, serious pain, awful bedroom, 8 without a table. All of those fun things. Is there anywhere I could put that chess table and move a dining table in? The worst thing in the story, not the suicide, I think. Hopelessness, despair. Phantoms swirling in the story and the soul of the main hero are much worse and much more dangerous. I think I will have to take your word for it, because that does not sound like a book I want to really be reading in my mindset. It's one of those things, is like, it could be one of the most fantastic books written, but the subject matter it deals with, I am not in a good headspace to deal with that. I would not be in a good headspace to deal with all of that. I just want to make sure, yes, this is all appropriate. It's just they're prioritizing the construction over everything else. I'll do that and see if they start cleaning. That's wise. And yeah, instead of giving you an overview, it rekindled dangerous thoughts. Yeah. Obviously, there are some ways I can think of, like having a book where the main character or characters are dealing with depression, hopelessness, despair. But there's I wouldn't necessarily say a happy ending, but it involves the characters obviously identifying those thoughts, accepting that they have them, working through them and kind of giving some overview and advice on how to manage such a situation yourself. Perhaps, but you know, books about depression, yeah, probably not. And LucasWorld noticed you've got a bunch of games that manipulate the player's emotions into the same ones the main character has. What do you... Oh, have you got any examples of that? Because that would be interesting to see. But obviously one of the things about works of literature and fiction are partially about kind of getting the reader or player into the mindset of the protagonist or the main character, and like understanding where they work or where their opinions, thoughts, processes are coming from. But if it's one that is manipulating, then obviously that's a negative potential impact. Hey, we got 2 little baby chinchillas born now. Yeah, I think then I'll get Chinchilla 1 sterilised. Because Chinchilla 2 is 3 years old. What actually is the average life expectancy for a Chinchilla? 9. So we're still going to have a good few years left. I'm just going to make sure that we have the option if we were to need it. And yep, surgery failed again. So apparently, despite having almost 8 medical, you are not good. Destroyed left lung. Thankfully, you have 2 lungs, so you can actually live. Passing. Also thinking about reading some parts of the Gospel of Matthew again. Can't say that you liked it in the past, but since you think a lot about the Matthew effect, it makes sense to check the original source. Yeah, that does. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. LucasWorld Get Dumped. Think I got that one on itch.io about a girl who, needless to say, got dumped. I take it the emotions that it was drawing from you were not one or not some good ones. I'll say, okay, so when the surgery fails, it does uncheck the option to sterilize. That's good to note, so you're not going to have someone go back and continually try and retry the surgery on them. That is another poor quality sculpture. Okay, you know what? I'm going to restrict everyone to the home zone. Actually, no, make that area 1, because then, there we go, they're finally cleaning. There we go. Finally getting some cleaning done. Because, yeah, this was just getting horrific. This was just getting absolutely horrific. Major break risk. If you're tired, serious pain, sick, cold. I mean, you are in the freezer. Also have one from the perspective of someone with social problems / disabilities. Parsnip, Buttercup, naive and ever trusting. Can't see dangers from him or others. Player does notice more than Parsnip. Again, it's one of those ones where if it's done appropriately, could be interesting and thoughtful, but if it's done poorly, then yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to expand the area 1 up to here, so that they'll hopefully come in and clean that area as well. So we should have a decent amount of hay grass coming up, and if I put a stockpile zone here, clear, and then put hay and kibble, and that should be critical. Games with goosebumps from empathy, yeah. That's a bit more of what I'm trying to get at. And the passing, your stepfather had a strange way to cope with problems. When he came home from work, he turned on some apocalyptic movie and a bloody action movie, saying, "At least they're worse off with than me." Yeah, some people do get and create their own mechanisms for coping and working through things. Obviously, it's one of those kind of not one of those like product of the times things, but obviously I'm presuming that this is like obviously at least 20, probably closer to 30 or 40 years ago. And even now in the West, we still have issues with people, particularly men and masculine men, not going to therapy and getting professional help working through issues. So it's not overly a surprise to me that some people would have such methods. Mind you, speaking of that, my grandfather is like, we think he had PTSD, but it was never diagnosed because he fought in World War II. You know, they were World War One, they were calling it shell shock. World War Two probably didn't really care. But the thing is like he could watch westerns and people shooting each other absolutely fine. But when the fight dissolved into fisticuffs, he would start stressing out and growling and whatnot. But he'd always watch the movie, so I don't know if that was a similar attitude is the wrong word, but similar thought process, or if it just was something that 90% of the time took his mind off it and 10% of the time just aggravated his potential PTSD. Don't know. And yeah, like, don't know if you should play. Parsnips had a wide selection of things that may trigger people or topics. Yeah. Again, if it's appropriately handled, appropriately signposted, that is got X, Y, and Z. Oh, hang on. Hang back a little bit more, please. Actually get you back across here, because that is, yep, mud, water, and deep water. So if we can get you moving up along here somewhere. And okay, yeah, may or may not indeed. It's just, again, something to be aware of and cautious if you know that you are potentially going to be affected by it one way or another. Okay. Apparently we've got a thunderstorm going on, and apparently one area in our home zone is on fire. Okay, change target, change target. Start attacking krill instead. Okay, there we go. Now onto green. Well, back onto green, I should say. There we go, and they're fleeing. So, gorilla, were you any good? Slow learner and a pessimist? No. Okay, that's fine. And we really should start thinking about where else to put some defences. We seem to be getting quite a few attacks from up here. I don't know if that's any indication of where they are or if it is just honestly random. Where was that silver? Okay, we do still have a couple more that we can dig out. Minus 470, but that's partly because the generator needs to be refueled. We've got another sculpture there that we can install, and hopefully people will stop complaining as much that all the areas looking horrible. Yeah, I think I can let them wander around unrestricted now. But you still like the conclusion of get dumped. Still poison for people who actually do get dumped. May not get through to the end. Yeah. A look change desired. Are you still believing in our ideology? You are. A pass-in. One of my grandmother's sisters was a child during World War II, about 10 years old, lived in my city in blockade during the siege of Leningrad. As far as you know, it was as you know, it was one of the most horrific battle stages of the war. Even now she cries when she sleeps, asking some children to hide from missiles or asking someone not to die. Potential PTSD there as well. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of honestly is we've known that PTSD has existed since the ancient Greeks. Like there's obviously like poems and stories and such that describe people who have what we would now know as PTSD. We know World War One that a number of soldiers had a condition that was called shell shock, which we now know is PTSD. But it's one of those things where you need to it's one of those things where it's very much a possibility rather than a certainty unless you are able to talk to someone and get a diagnosis. Anyway, it is 10 to 9, so I know it's a bit earlier than I normally finish up here. And yeah, the Vietnam flashbacks meme is another example as well indeed. So I don't know if there's obviously been a similar effect with Iran, Iraq and Afghanistan or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was. And obviously we're going to have a whole new generation of people in Russia and Ukraine managing it all as well. But as I'm saying, so it is 10 to 9, so a bit earlier than I would normally head off, but I think I need a bit of a rest and a stretch. Let me just have a look. So the game I was talking about is called Stardust. There are a few people playing it. There's not many viewers, but if you are willing to come over with me, I will have a look at some of them, see if we want to say hello to someone. So if you are wanting to join me, we do have a raid message, and it should work for anyone who is subscribed to the channel. Looks like faster than light. Yeah, the design, it definitely does. So let me just mute the desktop while I check out these people just to see what they're like and see if we've got someone who we can potentially go and raid. If not, we do have a few other people that we could say hello to. When do we meet again? So the plan will be for Saturday at 1:30 p.m. British summer time. I am having a COVID vaccination in the morning. That should not impact anything. That should definitely not impact anything. But I may have to finish a bit early depending on if I feel a bit under the weather with things. Yeah, 1:30 p.m. Saturday, sorry. Saturday British summertime, not Sunday. Vietnam flashbacks, good meme. I like Mythlock Queen memes much more. I'll have to have a look at that. Thanks for the stream and discussion. No problem. I hope you had a good time here. And yes, take care as well. Yeah, sorry, Saturday. So I know the things scrolling by say GMT, but I'm a bit too lazy to try and change that all. Yeah, stay awesome, you as well. So I'm still going through and trying to find someone who looks to be decent. There's not many people on, but it's obviously trying to find someone who's got a good attitude and similar vibes to me. And obviously just seeing who's around. And yeah. Oh, that's from Chew, isn't it? That's from Chew. Okay. Oh, we do have someone here who's from the UK. That might be interesting. Let me see. Okay, right, they're not talking at the moment, but I think I will go and say hello to this person. So Melon Solder, from the UK. Only got 23 followers, so not an affiliate just yet, but we will go and say hello. And yeah, just go and say hi. Okay, yeah, definitely. We are definitely going to raid them. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Hope to see you again on a Saturday and hope you have a good rest of the day and rest of the week if I don't see you. And bye bye for now.